This is my prediction for the Game of the Year lineup. Silksong, Yote, DS2, Clair Obscur, Monster Hunter Rivals, and Pokemon, surprisingly, I'm going to say.
OZA.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Monhun what?
Monhun Wilds. That's a solid lineup, but Clair Obscur, people are still talking about it.
People are still talking about it in French.
I'm waiting for that concert to show around, because I know Elden Ring had an orchestra, Death Stranding is going to have an orchestra. I want my Clair Obscur orchestra, dude.
That'd be awesome.
There was already one in Chicago, and I want them to come over.
Oh, really?
Here. I think they did a couple of songs, but I only saw one on YouTube.
Yeah, like a lot of games came out this year, but as far as buzz and talk, like these are the 6 right here. And I think this is it, because the cutoff, I believe, is in November for entries.
Indie games don't make... I think Balatro was the only exception, right? But indie
for
games
what,
usually
indie
don't
games?
make that list. Yeah, for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, Balatro was just so huge last year. And also, I think Jeff Keighley's starting to like lean heavily more into the indie scene. And like I think last year was a good case too, because like a lot of really good indie games were coming out. And the AAA scene was just shit in the bag for the most part. I'm sure we're going to see more indie games. I mean, like Silksong will be an indie game.
I would really consider, hopefully they put Megabonk or one of the new roguelikes like Devolver. I don't know if
I forgot about
like any of the
Megabonk.
Devolver games. Like Devolver came out with the new roguelike. That's supposed to be pretty good. It's called Ball Pit. It's pretty sick. I talked to our expert correspondent in the roguelite scene, like Akil. We were talking about all these new indie roguelikes that came out. Well, I think I might have mentioned it before, but there was one that I saw last week called Slots and Daggers. And it's a roguelike gambling game, kind of like what Balatro is, but instead of cards, it's just like a slot machine. Like it's pretty crazy, like the mechanics and the way that these games, like there's just people in their imaginations are getting so real. You know what I mean?
I like the UI for it.
Yeah, it looks freaking dope, and it's a pretty simple game to understand. Like, I wouldn't say like the difficulty is like super heavy on RNG. Like, there's definitely a lot of ways to go about playing that game, and overall, I think it's just a good way to spend a lot of your time.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see Megabonk show up for like a nominee. Like I know it's pretty big and all that, but it's a Steam game, and you guys anywhere could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there hasn't been like a Steam only or like PC only nomination for Game Awards. Like I think that's the big factor, is that we're still like console heavy when it comes to these decisions, I think. But it's changing over the years. I think, especially like in recent years, right? Everyone's like, just freaking get a PC, get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying.
Same, buddy. Same.
All right, guys. I just beat this demo last night, and I forgot there was a demo for it. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to play it. First Berserker Kazan, the action Souls-like for the DNF Dual Universe. And you know what, man? That game's pretty fun. It leans more towards like action gameplay than like Souls-like. Like sure, you get your stamina and all that still, but you have a skill tree. It's very similar to like God of War's skill trees in the new games. After your light attacks, you do a heavy, and it goes into this new combo. Like there was one for your first weapon where you could jump and do a spin in the air and spin back down. I was like, this is so fucking cool, guys. Hell yeah. And there's a parry in the game, Gerry, and it feels pretty good. You can actually get like you could get 2 versions of a parry, and then there's like an ultimate parry that activates when like a boss is going to do like a big flashy move. And there's like stamina breaks, and then you could do like execution attacks. And the only downside I want to say is for the weapon select, or at least as far as I got in the demo, there was only 3 weapons you can choose from, like 3 types. And you can only equip one at a time, so there's no 2 weapon switch like in Souls. Stick with 1 weapon, and then you have to go to the menu to change it if you want.
Gameplay looks pretty solid.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, again, like very typical layout for a Souls-like. You wandering around in this environment. In this case, like a lot of snow areas, and yeah, you just fight enemies, and then you collect souls, and then if you die, you have to go back and retrieve your souls. And I don't know if it's like a demo feature or if this is an actual thing in the game. I was dying a lot to these bosses, still trying to figure out their parry timings. And every time I died, I got a little notification says like, oh, you get like souls for like completing the boss challenge. And so I was just getting more souls to the point where like, okay, if I, lose enough times, I can at least level up one stat and then try to go back in. Like as you attack and like do a bunch of flashy stuff, you gain, you're gaining meter for your skills, and then that's how you get your skill points and stuff like that. So yeah, that was cool. It just sucks that dodge was on X, and it took a while to get used to that, and that's not fun. It's a Bloodborne dodge, which is nice, but there's really no iframes on the dodge. Like if you're going to dodge, you have to make sure you're not going to be within the swing of the attack, or you do a perfect dodge, because if not, you will get hit.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little frustrating. And you have to, for some bosses, you do have to dodge because they will have grab animations, and you cannot parry that.
I'm watching gameplay right now. That's what it looks like. It seems like you gotta actually get the hell out of the way for most of these attacks. Yeah. Is everything parryable? Can I parry everything?
Oh yeah, you could parry arrows too, which was fun.
Hell yeah.
Nice. You don't have to fucking buy the skill like every other fucking action game.
Yeah, the weapons were cool. You start with dual wielding an axe and sword, and then eventually you get a berserk sword, and then you get a javelin. The way you pick up new weapons is pretty cool. They're just standing there, or they're just in the ground, and when you walk up, it turns into a cutscene of you grabbing the swords. And then you go into this like trial area, basically, where waves of enemies will come in depending on the weapon, and then you just fight. And then once you complete that, then it's your weapon now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's not that bad.
Yeah, and the weapons have names, and they're tied to like armor sets and stuff. Yeah, and you know what?
Sounds right.
Shout out to these games to where you can go into the menu and turn helmet display off, because that's great. But yeah, this was pretty fun, man. I think I'm gonna pick this up whenever it goes on sale.
Definitely looks like something I might buy just to fucking play, because it looks pretty good.
Yeah, and I know nothing. Shit. I know nothing of this universe, but I don't care. It looks cool.
DNF was an okay game, but it was just still like an online computer game. It's not just fucking. It's a Nexon game, you know. There's not much depth to it other than whatever fucking exposition they give you.
Oh, for the English dub, there's like this old lady that talks to you. She's like a shaman-looking character, and I was like, oh, I know that voice. She's freaking Gaia from the OG God of War games. Like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's some names in here that voice the characters. Like, Kazan is the guy who voiced Clive from Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the guy who played Margit from Elden Ring is the Blade Phantom, whoever that is. I don't know.
Oh, that's like the demon in you.
That's cool. They got voice actors here. The game looks solid. It looks like an all-around fun time to play. Also, rage-inducing. Is there difficulty settings?
I did like the tutorial part of the game, and then after I defeated the boss there, it pans up and it gives you the title of the game, and then the next option is, okay, now pick your difficulty. I was like, what? I was like, well, what difficulty was that? But yeah, it's like easy, regular, hard. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, man, I like games, but I'll stick it to normal things.
My pride is yelling at me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. We didn't really talk about this, but I recently picked up the Ninja Gaiden collection,
the Sigma collection.
Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden Sigma collection. Because I was watching somebody play 4, and I was like, this seems like a pretty good like a pretty good series. I want to get into it, man. So I bought the game when it was on sale, and I started playing number 1, and I got about 2-3 chapters in, and I was already telling Gerry about it. But man, there is a lot of difficulty with that game. Like, there's a lot of straight bullshit. And when you're talking about, like the difficulty setting, I can't help but think to myself, I was like, good Lord, help me! They have the same thing for fucking Ninja Gaiden 1, or all the Ninja Gaidens really. You can like choose a difficulty. Nah, game like that game is already unfair in the normal difficulty.
Oh yeah. There's no easy. Retarded. It just goes straight normal, then hard, then very hard.
Shout out the GOAT, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
The games back in the day had like just the most just obscene amounts of difficulty, and I think the thing that really takes the cake is like I bet the first Berserker has like a lock-on function or something like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right. In Ninja Gaiden 1, you do not have that. You can't lock on enemies or anything like that. It's just like, I'm gonna figure this shit out one enemy at a time. Hopefully don't backstab me.
Remind me though. There's like a camera center button, right?
I didn't find it. I would really like to see if it does exist, but I haven't found it. I don't know if I had to click the stick or something, but
No, I think it's one of the triggers, if I remember correctly. When I was playing it on the original Xbox, I think it was right trigger or left trigger. One of those triggers was the block, and then the other one centered the camera behind Ryu. I don't remember. I'm gonna actually look it up and see if it's still on sale, because I kind of want to go back and get mad all over again.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, I think, one of my first rage games I've ever fucking played.
This is really not for men with weak wills. I'm telling you.
Not. Dude, you're not even at the fucking
You're not even
yet.
there.
Yeah, you're right, bro. I'm
Yeah.
really not even there yet. Like, here's what I told him. Here's what I told him, Danny. I got to chapter 3, and in chapter 3, is pretty much basically right when the story starts. Like, the story starts from chapter 1, of course, but like, I want to say, like, exposition wise to what the entire universe is like trying to set up for this game. Like, you're getting all of it by chapter 3, right? So like, your real mission starts. You're on board like this airship, and you're trying to make your way to like this foreign capital where the bad guys are, and you get your first like challenge, I would say, in this chapter, where you're basically stuck in a room, killing an endless amount of enemies for like undisclosed amount of time. To me, it was disclosed because I like pressed a button or something. I don't know what I did, and like there was like some sort of counter that showed me, like, I think it must have started with like 350 seconds or 400 seconds. I don't really know. But I got down to like 280 seconds before I got absolutely fucking murked by like the 10 enemies that spawned in at once. Fucked me real good. Fucked me with no lube, man. I'm telling you, it's just nuts.
This is Sigma, right?
Yeah, Sigma 1.
There are some changes in Sigma, but I think I remembered. It's just so you can get a good ranking, I believe. But
like
you can still finish it, and you can get whatever they're gonna give you at the end. There's actually 60 enemies, but they are stupid hard, especially if you're trying to, like, I don't know, not die. I don't know what difficulty you started as, but it's still fucking ruthless.
Yeah, I started on the normal difficulty they gave you.
Yeah,
and there are difficulty trophies. So yeah.
That's what Silent Hill F has. I hate that.
Is it Lost in the Fog?
No, they have one for easy, medium, and hard, and for both story and puzzles. So there's like 6 total trophies that has to do with how hard the game is, or how hard you set it as.
But it's one of those things where if you run the game from hard at the jump, then you're going to get all the other ones, right?
I went the normal route, and
Oh, you didn't get the easy trophy?
I don't think so.
Wait, did you beat it already?
Yeah, I beat it already. It was good, you know. It was definitely a lot different than what I was used to in Silent Hill. Granted, the last one I played was 3. Yeah, it's definitely different. But the same sort of, like, you know, what we were talking about, Danny, with reading between the lines, subtext.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in here. Some of it I'm still trying to figure out, but a lot of it is like it's really not that hard to figure out. But some of it you're sort of like kind of lost in the fog about like what it means. Like there's a couple of bosses in some rooms where you're like, why is this boss here? Like exactly. So yeah, like with this kind of game where I guess it's fine. It still sucks that I have to play like 3 more times. But with this game, they expect you to play at least like 4 times through.
Yeah, if you want everything out of the game, you can't just watch the endings. You have to replay it 4 times.
That's kind of nuts. That's like Wukong.
It is kind of nuts, especially because there is this long part towards the end of the game that's just a relentless enemy rush, and it does suck. But all the context and like all the new information you get and like those endings, it's just so worth it.
I got spoiled from a boss on one of these stupid ass YouTube reels. I didn't fight this boss during my first playthrough. And the first playthrough has a fixed ending, so it's nothing you do is like it all ends the same way until you beat it again, New Game Plus. But the fact that you keep like all your omomoris, like your buffs and stuff, and you keep your stats too, like your health amount, how much you upgraded and all that really helps out. You keep all the items except for the key items. and like some of the and you keep all the documents too, except for like the puzzle notes you get.
Yeah, no, great game. I hope you go through it at least one or two more times.
Yeah, I plan to. Just because I'm not really satisfied with how it ended. Like it really ended openly, but I really want to check out that UFO ending.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty short too, so I might just do like Lost in the Fog for that one. Just hopefully it gives me the trophy, because I think you only once you do the UFO ending, the game ends like pretty
It ends
early.
immediately. Yeah, like it's like the first third of the game, I want to say.
That sounds like good Silent Hill fashion, though. You know what I mean? Like you're at an ending. It would make sense that the run ends.
Yeah, sort of, I guess. Most of like the goofy endings are sort of like you kind of have to get the notes, do the thing, and then you make it all the way through, and then James opens the door and finds a Shiba Inu behind the counter or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this one it's kind of different. Like you sort of just you have to get these notes and you have to listen to these radio broadcasts like in order before you get that. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna stream that as well, just so like I can have something to play while I stream. Because right now the only thing I want to play while streaming is Silent Hill. Not really anything else. Like I'm kind of cleaning up Death Stranding 2. That's about it. I think I don't really have anything else going on. Like I play Monster Hunters with Oscar, and then I haven't really touched Helldivers in a minute.
Oh, speaking of Helldivers, Arrowhead Game Studios is developing a new co-op action game with new intellectual property that will be a multi-platform title built in Unreal Engine 5. The new game is entirely self-funded by the studio and will not be a partnership with Sony. The development team is still in its early stages, with pre-production recently starting, and the game is not expected to release soon. It's going to be a pretty serious IP if, they're 100% funding it solely themselves, because whatever idea that they're going to have is just like they don't want anybody else to have their hands on it. It's going to be something strictly that they're going to control, which I think is a good thing.
Fuck, man. It sucks because Helldivers is so good. Like it feels like anywhere next is downhill now. But that's just me, I love Helldivers so much to actually play anything else. But they did a good job listening to everybody. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, man, they're a good studio. I don't know what else they've made besides Helldivers. Helldivers 2 is successful, so I'm sure like they have enough from that just to be able to be an indie studio again.
They made a game called Magica.
Oh, they made Gauntlet?
And Gauntlet, yeah.
Dude, Gauntlet is such a good game. It's the remake Gauntlet, right? The one that dropped like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the one we
dude.
played. Yeah.
I don't know if you said it. I wasn't listening, but it's probably going to be 4-player co-op, right?
No, it's okay. I'm not offended at all. Yeah, I think it might be a 4-player co-op. I'm not entirely sure yet. They haven't listed the specifics of how many people are going to be playing, but
it just says co-op, right?
Yeah, it just says co-op. Okay. Just a co-op action game, new IP, and it's self-funded. So one of the things that I saw recently within the last week is they released another gameplay trailer for Avatar Legends. I don't know if you guys saw this one. And they also announced the open beta, or a closed beta. Sorry, it's a closed beta. You'll get to play with Aang, Korra, Katara, and Zuko within the beta, which I thought was pretty cool. Like there's some good good scenes that we saw between like Katara and Zuko. Like they got some crazy combos, but I got to say, like taking a look at the trailer again, it didn't occur to me the first time I watched this that Aang was only using airbending. So one of the things I'm thinking of is they might make I don't know what the exact term is, but like where they do they add the same character twice basically into the roster with just a different set of moves. Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I think they're going to keep Aang like that by himself. It's very obviously early Aang, right? Probably like season 1, since like he mostly only uses air. And then we have Korra. I don't remember. I saw some of her gameplay, but I couldn't remember if it was like all her bending or not.
And yeah, it's all her bending. She does. Actually, I didn't remember seeing her do earth bending, but I know she does water and fire bending, and then they do show her using a special move, like a special attack. And in her special, she does all 4 of the elements. She also, fire, water,
Yeah, so she's just going to be the multi-elemental representation in the game. My first thought watching the trailer was, man, this feels like a homemade fighting game, but like in the best way possible. Just like the way the animation is and stuff. The way it plays and how it looks, it's very reminiscent of their last game, Diesel Legacy. Just the way like the combos are going with each other, and the way the specials activate by having like that little cutscene. But yeah, it looks great, man. A lot of double jump action, so there's, that you can do. Like Zuko uses fire to jump up a couple times. I just think it looks funny how Aang uses his little flyer, and he's able to like double jump with that too. It looks so goofy.
I have to say, I think some of the launch combos are pretty sick in this game. I think I have to give it to them for that. Korra does a move where she basically does like a 3-part attack and then will end with a launcher, and the launcher is just her summoning a giant brick of ice to just smash you in the face. Who can tell? Who can say how good the game will be when it actually launches? But I do like, at least I can say that I like, like the choreography that they put into some of these fighting moves, especially Korra's. She may be like the infamous Avatar, like the Avatar nobody likes, but I still think that she was a pretty decent Avatar at best.
I guess so. She tried her best.
I'm telling you, Aang would have probably died versus that one dude. What's his fucking name again?
I mean, I guess like fighting ability wise, yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was a good fighter.
Yeah, but as an Avatar, nah.
You know what? Not really to get too much into this, because we don't really need to get too much into this, but I just think that she leaned a lot on other people. She wasn't a very good rational decision maker. Like, her own critical thinking sucks. I know that for the new season of when the new series starts, they've pretty much already confirmed that they have 2 seasons lined up already. I don't know if you heard too much more about it. Based off what I heard, this series is going to start off focusing on one character, but there are actually going to be 2 avatars, and they're twins. So we get to see one twin who is like basically outside of like the whatever is going on, like for the situation that stands in the series, and then she basically gets thrown into that situation and finds out that somebody else has basically already claimed the title of Avatar. It gets a little similar, like when I was reading the books, like the Kyoshi books, because it was like basically almost the same plot, right? Like Kyoshi didn't come out to be the Avatar immediately when she was born. Nobody ended up finding the Avatar after they were born. It takes them a couple of years to find them, like maybe 2 or 3 years, because obviously the baby's not just going to be shooting elements off the jump, off rip. But anyway, they didn't end up finding the real Avatar in her era for the first 11 or 16 years. Like, they just got some random kid from the Earth Kingdom who happened to be extremely, like, he was like basically a prodigy at earthbending, and he was just really smart. So they just took him and say, hey, we think you're the Avatar. Your life changes from here at this point, basically. Yeah, there's a lot of hearsay about what's going to happen in this next season, but I'm just excited. There's a lot of good, for what seems like there could be a lot of good characters, and then they're talking about like some of the exposition that happens in the current series. I think there's like a unified kingdom. Like Central City is gone. There's like an actual government now. I don't think it's a unified government between the 4 kingdoms. I think it's just like technically like a third entity, you know what I mean? Like a third party. So it just came up out of nowhere between the time of Korra to the new avatars.
Yeah, so yeah, it's set in a post cataclysmic world where Korra like fucked it up or something. So the title Avatar is actually dangerous for the new Avatar. So she has to like figure out what's wrong or something. And they're not twin avatars, just for a quick correction. They are twins, but only one of them is an avatar.
Oh, really? Because from what I saw, it was supposed to be like, basically from what I understood, because they did give like some exposition on what's going to happen, is she's going to get into a situation where she's basically like a child warrior, and she joins like the security force. And as she joins the security force, she's like...
That's the older sister.
Yeah, the one with the missing leg, right?
No, the missing leg's the younger girl.
I know that one of them, basically, I think the older one the younger one finds out that the older one is titled the Avatar, because she's not from that place where the older sister is. And that's how she also found out that she had a sister, from what I read.
Yeah, the latest info I read didn't really explain like that much detail. It just gave the quick premise of the setting. Ugh, 2027 though is the earliest. Ugh.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we get it. But there are some good things popping off around 2026. That's going to be good. We did, I don't know if you want to segue into this right now, but we did get some visuals for the Heroines anime that's going to come out.
Yes, One Piece news, baby. Boo, brr, 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 brr. Yeah, One Piece Heroines, the light novels for the series, is being adapted into an anime. Yeah, and then we got the character sheets for Nami and Robin. They look pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. I shared them.
I know you shared them, but I mean, like, my only gripe is I don't like what they did to Robin's face.
Here we go.
What? What was wrong with her face? Why did they have to change
What was
it?
wrong with her face?
It's called
That's
an
what I'm
art style,
saying.
sir.
It's supposed to be softer because it's about the heroines.
I mean, yeah, the art style is very different from the anime itself.
I mean, they basically restructured her face.
What about Nami? She looks way different too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes sense though because like I haven't read them yet, but I read the synopsis on the back of the volumes, and they're just fun little short stories. Some of them sound pretty good, but they're all very, I don't want to say shoujo, but it's leaning towards more shoujo for what they're writing. So it kind of makes sense. It has like this like softer look, kind of like how Soul Eater Not looks nothing like Soul Eater.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Between Nami and Robin, Nami obviously doesn't look that much different. Like, it's not super crazy to me, like, the distinct difference I can tell between, like, a Toei animator doing Nami versus, like, what we see for the Heroines anime. But, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really vibing too much with when I saw Robin's design, or at least her face. I think everything else looks pretty good, though. But it just really reminds me of, like, all of those, like, kind of newer, fancier manhwas that are being turned into animes. Like, she just reminds me of like every other Korean girl that I've seen in those
I mean,
animes.
especially with that outfit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give that to you.
She's basically wearing. Yeah, she's definitely looked like she just came straight out of Lookism.
Yeah,
or
like
Jin
Jin Won Soon or whatever. That's what.
Robin Sue.
Yeah. But yeah, that just means it's time to read these books. The director is gonna be Haruka Kamatani. That's the director for One Piece and Love that we talked about.
Yeah, the YouTube shorts. Yeah.
The YouTube shorts where they're high schoolers that are named after One Piece characters. The designs are from, this makes sense, from Takahashi Kojima, and then the script is from Momoka Toyota, who did the One Piece fan letter. I think, was that last year or this year?
I think it was last year.
No studio mention, just an announcement for this, and like who's like the main people working on it. Yeah, that's cool that we're gonna get something different, and I think it makes sense that they announced this because the other announcement for One Piece, as far as the anime is concerned, is, hey guys, it's now a seasonal anime.
Yes, it was a real big one for me because on one hand, yes, we're gonna get like 1-to-1 pacing, and I'm happy for that. But it's funny how like how like cause and effects works, because it's just like, I guess my like dumbass brain never really thought of what we would need in order to be on a 1-to-1 pacing. And so it's just like hearing that we're no longer having like, these week-to-week episodes come out, and now it's going to be like 26 episodes a year at most. It was a little crazy. It was a bit jarring to me. Like I had to sit down a little bit. But like I said, after thinking about it for a while and just saying like, hey, you know what, like this is a good thing. I think that we're gonna make progress here, especially with what's going on for Elbaf. I would say with everything that we're learning right now in Elbaf, we can't afford to have the old kind of pacing. Like things are only gonna get crazier from here, and especially with God Valley and this whole flashback thing that we're doing right now. It's gonna fucking kill me just thinking that we're gonna, spend a whole bunch of time just fucking going through one third of a chapter for 2 or 3 episodes.
I mean, it's great, and like not only like the pacing is gonna be better, but even just the overall art is gonna be better because they're not gonna have to rush week to week. We all see those shitty frames from Dragon Ball Z back in the day where they're all like distorted looking, and it's like, well, yeah, because that was a continuous anime as well. There was no seasonal breaks for it, and yeah, we got the same thing in One Piece, same thing in Naruto. I think the way it is now is like One Piece is bigger than ever, and we're seeing like all these other animes still be huge, and they're being seasonal. So it's like, yeah, it only makes sense. It's just like a shame it was now instead of sooner.
But hey, I'm an adult now, and I have plenty of free time. So whenever that shit comes out, I'll be ready for it.
I wonder if they're gonna go like an extra mile too, and be like sure, it's 26 episodes a year, broken up into 2 cores. I wonder if they're gonna keep it at a 30-minute episode runtime, or they're gonna try to extend it.
I mean, they could. That would be pretty dope if they do extend it. At least that way we're getting a lot more. But then I think that also kind of goes into a lot of the issues that they were already just trying to resolve by switching to this format. You know, like if they're spending an extra amount of time, you know, just trying to add in like, what is it, anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, right? So if it goes from a 20-minute runtime to like 35 to 40-minute runtime, because usually it's like 45, right? And that's not even including like ads or anything like that. Something like that might be huge for them. I can see that working, but not without its drawbacks, you know, which I think at this point they're just trying to relieve as much work as possible. So
I think it depends how they want to approach it, I guess, moving forward. Like, okay, what are we going to cover from April to December of next year?
I'm really hoping that they'll stop doing some liberties with changing a lot of what's going on in the manga too. Not in the manga, but like between the anime from the manga. Like a lot of the scenes that, you know, kind of give more credit to Sanji, and they kind of take it away, or like give it to Zoro, or just make it so that it doesn't happen in the anime at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever change. You know, like I just brought that up the other day with Bleach, because you know, the Bleach anime it leans way more towards Rukia and kind of put Orihime in the background, that was never the case on the manga. And then so that's how you get all those people that get mad. It's like, what? Ichigo's not with Rukia? This fucking sucks, man.
Rukia's like fucking 3,200 years old, bro.
No, but they're meant to be with each other. Don't you remember watching
Shut the fuck up.
Fucking Renji called dibs like straight out the fucking box, bro. What are we even talking? Like nobody was reading, dude. Nobody was reading. Yeah. Renji even said it like right in front of her brother too. She's like, "Oh, that's fucking dibs. That's mine." If I wanted something to be 45 minutes long, I would say Steel Ball Run should be 45 minutes long. Like, there's a lot of shit to cover, and I don't feel like it's gonna release all at once. Obviously, like they're gonna have to do things.
Well, it's Netflix, so at least for, you know, the releases out here, so they're gonna do what they did with Stone Ocean.
And I think for part 6, it was three different parts they did, right?
Yeah, they broke it into 3 parts.
I don't think that the spacing that they did for that was bad, but I know that the release dates in between those were kind of sparing.
Yeah, I just remember people being upset about it because it's like, yeah, Stone Ocean's great, but like all the hype is kind of just gone because of that.
Yeah, because they waited so long. And that's not that really they waited so long, but they took so long to release, you know, the rest of the parts for that series. So yeah, I'm on the fence for that too. I really hope that that's not something that's going to happen. You know, it is a monthly manga, and there was a lot. That's probably what's going to happen.
Hey, while we're still talking manga and anime real quick, we got something today or yesterday, as of this recording, that is very, very funny. Did not know that Rent a Girlfriend is still going. I thought it ended.
Wasn't it supposed to?
Well, that was the big thing of like, oh, it's ending, and Chizuru said, no, you stupid cuck, or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's over. But I guess that was just the end of that arc, I guess. And now the series is actually wrapping up. And with the new chapter, our boy Kazuya, the main character, got a haircut change. Originally, his hair is orange, and it's kind of shaggy looking, like a little long. So I just shared, this is like the color spread with his new hairstyle, right? He got black hair. He kind of shortened it up a little bit, got a little fade. The reason I say it's hilarious is because if you look at the next piece of evidence here I'm about to post, pretty much the same haircut the mangaka has.
God damn it.
So now we're full circle, dude. We are here, man. And went from him drawing Chizuru in a bunch of photos that he takes, and then it went from him getting a live scale, like a 1-to-1 scale statue of her and taking it on dates, and now he's in the manga, And I saw someone on Twitter say, I think the reason he did this is because since it's ending, he might be gearing up that they're going to be together and there's going to be a multi-page sex scene with them. So he won.
No.
Multi-page sex. Does she even put out? She doesn't look like she puts out, bro.
No, I mean, I haven't read it, in a long time. But hey, when it wants to have those explicit sex scenes, he draws it on there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, somebody said this might be the funniest manga of all time.
Yeah, the series these days is... I always constantly get reminded of one of the Dark Knight movies. I think it's like the second one with Two-Face. Remember they're all eating dinner or whatever, and he says that quote. He's like, you work hard and you're a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. That's definitely where we've entered that era.
Is this worse than Kazuya sinking into the pool during the water park arc and he's imagining getting cucked? and you see every panel and he's crying in the pool while he has a huge boner.
Oh my god.
What chapter is
can
that?
We get any
Why
lower?
Even put that in the fucking... Why even put it in there?
And I believe season 4 for the anime, when it's coming out, I think next year, it's covering that arc. So we're almost there. We're going to see that happen, and it's going to be hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, boy, dude. I mean, I'm not going to watch that shit, but yeah, I believe you when you say it's going to be funny.
See, it's funny when shit like that is in, like, Nukitashi, right? But when you have to fucking self-insert your stuff, oh my god, come on, bro. It's somehow a lot more creepier than watching just straight-up vibrators turning into swords.
Someone said Kazuya's like a piece of shit in the series. He's like a loser. And then he gets this haircut, and now he's all confident and stuff. What did he mean by this?
This is a shitty fucking haircut anyway. Like...
Hey, that's an average Japanese boy haircut.
Yeah, dude, average boy haircut. Like, I fucking believe you. And then I look at his haircut and I'm like, bro, you're just fucking skinny, the main guy from fucking Kaiju number 8. Like, you just literally took his haircut right now.
It's great.
A couple of things I had heard out in the ether. I don't really have a lot of validity to this next one, but I'll be praying anyway, I have a post I saw on Instagram saying that Koji Mori, who is basically the person who continued working on Berserk after Mora died, he's gearing us up. He's letting everybody know. He said, hey, Berserk is going to get even more intense. He says this next arc that Berserk is about to go into is going to have Guts go into a arc that's essentially deeper into darkness than the Eclipse arc. So whether that means like he could be going into like what I believe could be like the darkness in his armor. They've only expanded on what the armor is, where it came from, who wore it before him. Not really like any intricacies between Guts and the armor itself. Like there's no like spirit or entity that's emanating from the armor or like dragging him in the armor. There's no voice in his head or anything. It's just like Guts and his bloodlust. So I'm not really sure if that technically fits as a retcon. Like if they do decide to give his armor some sort of like, I don't know, personality. I just don't know. Like for him to claim like we're gonna get even darker than the Eclipse arc is like, geez, like how dark is it when you see like the guy that changed your life, rape your wife, and then, maim you.
So the actual quote from Koji Mori's Twitter, apparently, the next volume chapters were parts that Miura struggled with and agonized over as much as he did with the Eclipse. So they were really challenging. However, because of that, there are also sections that have been discussed repeatedly over many years. So I believe the dialogue and scenes have been preserved quite accurately. I'd be delighted if you enjoy it.
I will, sir. I will.
I guess that's what's happening right now, and then what's going to be coming out soon. I don't know. Are you guys caught up at all? Or did you just stop?
The last thing I remember reading was the child came... No. Okay, so, Griffith came back when Casca was semi-normal again, and she was holding all three of their child. Guts got pissed off, and he thought about picking up the sword again, maybe. I think that's as far as I remember. But Guts was there fucking standing all butt-ass naked. I mean, not Guts. Griffith was standing there all fucking in the nude.
Oh, under the field, right?
Yeah.
Like in the moonlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
that
that's-
chapter. Sorry, that chapter was in reference to. I don't know if you remember the kid that was following them up to that point. That naked kid with the black hair.
Yeah, their child.
Their child, right? So that was Griffith somehow.
Oh,
That's the end of volume, I believe, 41. And yeah, the theories I remember seeing when that came out, people speculated that it's like the innocence and humanity of Griffin that got splintered off of, what the fuck's his name? Falconia? What the hell's his name?
Femto. But didn't it kidnap her anyway, and then take her right back to what's his country called?
Falconia. Yeah.
So it's like, if the theory was that he's supposed to be like the human fragment of Griffith, right? Like, we can also interpret this as the part of Griffith that would have regret the decisions that he made. My interpretation of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then again, it's just like, I don't ever think that there has been any point at all, and I mean like from beginning to current, where Griffith has regret anything. Like, the only thing that I would say that he ever regret was meeting Guts, and that wasn't until he loses that fight, because he did not regret going into that castle and sleeping with that princess, which got him locked up, which got him tortured, which got him, XXX 2 years later, while Guts and Casca were just doing whatever as the Band of a Hawk, right? He didn't regret any of that. He just regrets Guts. But other than that, we don't really see that. I mean, it would be to a point to assume that even the human version of him doesn't have any regrets for what he did. And so he's not going to have any solace or any like particular feelings about it. He thinks that Casca is still his because everyone in the Band of the Hawk is his. Man. And then he gets slapped by Rickard. That was so cool.
that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Rickard's the fucking man, dude. Like, I don't give a shit what anybody says, dude. It's the biggest dick in that whole fucking series.
I'm caught up to the manga. I believe there's like one new chapter I haven't read. Where the last chapter I read ended off was Guts is going through something, and they put him in like this ancient tree or something. There's like, old magic at work or whatever, like some eldritch shit. Whatever's going to happen in there is probably what Koji Mori is talking about. Yeah, I just hope it's good, man, because this whole PTSD Guts thing has just been weird.
So between the time where Gerry stopped reading to where you're at, there's only like technically like one big transition. I don't really know if you want us to talk about this, Gerry.
What do you mean transition? Like the next arc?
Not okay. Well, I guess technically yes, the next arc, but also like the location, because there was something that happened to the island, and it was pretty much right after that point where Gerry stopped. So there's that, and then they're showing the conquest in Falconia, and then it goes back to, I think it's called the Kushana or Kushiana, whatever the fucking empire is called.
Kushan.
Yeah, the Kushan Empire, and that's basically where Guts goes. That's where everybody ends up going. That's where I stopped.
Yeah, I think that's where I stopped too. Honestly, yeah, because I remember the prince coming back, and then they're trying to fight off a bunch of these demons. Yeah.
Yeah, the last chapter I read,
yeah.
they were holding council within the city,
And then somebody just was
government
a fucking
building.
demon.
Right? Yeah, and then they ended up getting attacked.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much. I think in that same chapter is where we saw like Guts was about to try to kill a demon, and then he got like that PTSD, and like obviously he couldn't. That's pretty much what I saw last, and I think that was probably like earlier this year, like January, I want to say.
Yeah, a lot of the recent chapters this year, there's a lot of exposition just about like the state of the world and what the Kushan army are going to do moving forward. So it's really just like a bunch of just preparation, I guess, for like the final moments in Berserk. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, we will. I know that we talked about this at one point, and it doesn't technically matter to an extent, but I kind of hope that the art style will change one more time. New Guts looks okay, but it also doesn't really remind me of Guts. Like, he's just some big bulky dude, and I get that, and his hair and all that good stuff, but it's just like, I don't know.
Well, but he's been like that for a long time, though.
Yes, he has been like that for a long time, I know. It's been almost more than half a decade since he's looked like that, and I understand this.
What, white hair?
You're just hearing me cry. Anyway, let's talk about the next thing.
What Miura's art style's been for majority of the series, though, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, like obviously, like the early art style we see is a lot. It's really grungy. You know what I mean?
Very
like
different.
I really,
Yeah.
yes, I really, well, yes, different, of course, right? Grungy. When I say grungy, I think of like really dark, not just in theme, but also in the art style. Like I remember a lot of the earlier chapters, you know, when we see him going through forests or when we're seeing him, you know, pull out his sword or something. I want to say it had a certain level of realism to it from what I saw his earlier art style. We've kind of transitioned more into like, I want to say of like a shonen archetype where obviously, you know, he's got to look way bigger. His face has got to have the sharper lines to really give his emphasis on him being a big bulky walking
Oh, I wouldn't say that's shonen at all.
what kind of art style would you say it was? I feel like it fits more into like what you would draw like hero comics, like hero mangas and stuff like that, like
The current art style.
right, the current art style.
I mean, it's just his art matured over the years. Like it the way Berserk now definitely feels like a seinen series. Heavy tone, more mature, you know, there's a lot going on. Early Berserk, I would say, is closer to the shonen look. Also because, like, you know, when it came out during the 80s, and so, like, just the way main characters kind of looked back in the day. And also, like, his approach to the art was, you know, a little different than what it is now, right? It's so hyper detailed now. Like, that's the main reason we only got, like, a chapter every decade or something. I'd agree a little bit. Like, there was a point where I'm like, oh, like, the art's at its peak, and then, you know, towards the end to even, like, where we're at now, it's like, yeah, you could see, like, how it changed into a thing where I'm like, yeah, the way the faces look, it's kind of, I don't know, like, all the waifus have, you know, DSLs, and yeah, you could definitely tell that, like, Miura's no longer drawing stuff, like, it's the studio doing it, you know, and, you know, no shade on them, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of obvious, like, his impact in the art's just kind of gone, and they are doing their best, but
Yeah, true. I think I started. Currently, they're at 383, and I stopped at 378. A couple other things I'm going to shoot off really quick. It's not really something that we have to talk about. Again, it's just things that I found interesting. Did you know, Gerry, that the mangaka for the Apothecary Diaries in real life is an actual pharmacist?
That makes sense.
It certainly
You
does.
have to know about this kind of stuff if you're gonna like just put out what herbs make what poisons what in small doses and all that.
One of the biggest things that I really love about this show is it's just so ingenious how like good of a detective that she is. A lot of it's taken from her own personal experiences just growing up in the district outside of the Imperial Court. Episode 1, she's pretty much already talking about all the bad shit that usually happens. Like, I dress ugly because if I dress pretty, I'm going to get kidnapped and then I'm going to get sold as a prostitute or a courtesan. I don't want that. I like to test poisons on myself because who else am I going to test poisons on? Like, whatever. Like, I always just thought that it was pretty interesting and cool. Danny, if you haven't checked it out yet, I would recommend pretty much just watching the show. Like, the show is very entertaining, whether you do it dubbed or sub.
It's pretty good.
It's really good, dude. And like 1-to-1 with all of the things that they're talking about, all of the medicines, all of the herbs, all of the poisons, it's pretty accurate from my understanding.
I just finished it like not too long ago too. I'm waiting for season 2. It's so good.
Season 2 is already out.
Oh fuck yeah! I gotta fucking watch it because it has me gripped.
We're set to get Oh, actually, a good thing that you brought that up. One other piece of news that I had about Apothecary Diaries. I think I might have mentioned this before. We are set to get a new original movie, a standalone movie. Like, I'm not technically sure if it would be canon or not. I would think not really, because it's not going to be a part of the original story. But it's supposedly coming out at the end of next year. So December 2026 is hopefully when we'll see that. There is a game which has a demo out, but it's basically like a kit building game, and the models are all like robo women.
Robo women? Women?
It's like both Gunpla models, and then I think you can do like Gunplas with like the Vocaloid models. I think it's up on Steam right now. It is called Mech Builder 3D. The demo essentially just lets you put together a couple gunplays. I have not checked it out myself, but I have seen a couple of videos along with a trailer video that I found through Instagram for the game itself. It really reminds me of like the TCG game that me and Gerry were playing a couple months ago at the beginning of the year.
At least the music did.
Yeah,
Reminded me
just
of
a
that
really
same
easy
vibe.
game for you to chill to. At your own pace, just kind of like build your gunplay however you want, color it however you want. You can, from what I saw in the video, you're able to like do poses for them too, and then take like photo modes of them. You can set up dioramas too. So I think it's a pretty ingenuitive game on like just doing 3D gunplay. That's pretty awesome in my case. Like the idea that we had from Bandai Namco on gunplays and how we can make them just more than just models. Their idea to this was to make like a Gundam game that took the gunplays that you can just take different parts and stick them together and then use that gunpla to like fight in the virtual battles and stuff. They made a whole series for Gundam based off just that idea, which I thought was pretty cool. So taking this, like, if this game gets enough traction, I can definitely see Bandai Namco be like, I didn't realize anybody was going to be like interested in doing like a gunpla simulator, basically, And it's opening new doors, I think, honestly.
I do think it's cool. I don't think Bandai's going to care at all because just the vast amount of sales that model kits get, it would just be like an afterthought for them. Like, I'm sure they'll keep an eye on it to make sure that no tomfoolery's happening. Make sure everything doesn't look like an actual Gundam or a Zaku or any other mobile suits they have.
Right, have that cease and desist ready. I
Coming
getcha.
for the mods.
So yeah, man, if you guys are interested, again, Mech Builder 3D, that demo is out now on Steam, so you can definitely go grab that up. Don't you actually have a kit or two?
I've built some kits before, yeah.
Do you keep them? Or you just kind of do whatever with the models after?
I have them. Yeah, it's not like they're posed or anything special. Like I don't have any of all like I don't have like the frames to hold them and stuff for action poses.
Oh yeah, they're just kind of there.
Yeah, they're just standing there. They're just hanging out. I'm not like super into it. Like I don't have god hands. I just have regular like beginner like nippers. And then I had to do it the last kit I built, this Macross kit with the X-Acto knife and just shave the excess.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You can also, it's really not necessary, but you can also use like a power tool, like a Dremel or something like that. But a Dremel, obviously, you have to be super careful with, or you're gonna like leave an indent in your model. It's like honestly overkill. But you can also sand it too.
Yeah, like I have a friend who's deep into it. Like he's so deep, if you just show him a model kit, he knows every detail about that model kit. It doesn't matter what it is.
He knows the number. He knows the actual model from the box. He's like, that's the Zaku 3871. I know that one.
Yeah, that kit, so that came out in 2006, and it was like revolutionary at the time because the way it was using the P capsules and just really re-innovated how the mobility works on master grades. Like, it's crazy. And it's just a shame that they don't really make them anymore. So the fact that it's this price right now, that's a crazy steal, dude. You better get it right now or I'm going to buy it.
Just the amount of poses. Yeah, I can see all of that. It's funny.
Well, he doesn't actually pose his Gundams. He keeps them in default T-pose.
That's cool. Guys, I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
This episode, I had been in my Halloween costume this whole time. Yeah. I don't know how else to show, so I'm just going to turn on my cam.
What is that?
Babe, come look at this. Please come look at Gerry right now. Are you Pickle Rick? What is that?
He's a pickle.
Hello, I'm a pickle. I'm a pickle Gerry. Yeah.
Why are you shirtless?
It's so fucking great, dude.
I had to do it to him.
All right, guys. It's about that time. We're going to get out of here, but we can't leave yet without answering some emails. And we do have an email. It's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any comments anywhere else, I do look on some social media stuff. So you can comment anywhere and we can get back to you on the show. Just like today, we got one here from the boy Mark. Appreciate you as always, man. And he's got some questions today. And here they are. first question is, what are some big series in their time that you really liked that no one really talks about anymore? His example is he remembers when Air Gear was the shit. Everyone was talking about it, but there really isn't any mention of it anymore. And, I think, unfortunately, that's just par of the course. Like, if there's nothing new coming out for a series, it kind of just doesn't get talked about anymore unless it's like some esoteric video essay channel on YouTube saying, like, the 10-year dive into X game, and then everyone's like, oh my God, I remember this. Or, the occasional Sobi meme I see people send me, or every now and then everyone's like, oh, I remember that. Wow, what happened to it? It's like, it's gone because you forgot. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little tangent there. I don't know. There's a bunch of manga series that are fantastic, but yeah, like, they're just very old at this point, and there's just so much new stuff out that, like, yeah, it's hard to keep talking about a series when, nothing's there for it.
Yeah, I get that. I think after Air Gear ended, there was like, maybe like an OVA or two, and that was it. Like, they gave it an OVA, I think, for like an arc that happened like way later where the anime ended. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I remember there being the epilogue chapter that came out, and then like that was kind of like really it.
To which is just like, like, I feel like it did get a resolution, right? Like, it got an ending. I also think like there's kind of a difference like between series that like abruptly get canceled or just abruptly end versus like series that end up going long term or longer past what they think that they're going to go. And I'm not really sure if Air Gear really falls into that category, but I think that with the amount of time in production that it was in serialization, that it did reach like a natural point where it was just going to end. I mean, that's like without me like Googling Air Gear getting canceled or anything like that. So that's just like something I'm saying hearsay. But yeah, I don't know. I think that if I had to give an example of something that was really big back in the day, like, I was really a big fan of what's that fucking series called?
Yes.
Of you, yeah.
No, like I was really big. I was a big fan of like other series, like game series and stuff like that back in the day. Like, they weren't super popular, but I think I've talked about it before. There was the game that FromSoft made before they got into like the Souls-like. I think it was called it's called Tenchu. Yeah. So like Tenchu was like, it was kind of a big deal. I don't really think it was like a really big thing for a lot of people, but it was just something that I was really into back in the day. Like, Tenchu, at least for me, was like one of those big series that I was just like, oh man, this is so cool. Like, I don't know how many of these there are, but like, by the time that I got to it, it was like the Xbox 360 era, where that's basically the last one that they released. And the only times that I had seen it before that was during the PS2 era, like back when PS2 barely came out, and these games were still basically being circulated back in that time. I always thought that those things were cool. Yeah, as like manga wise, I don't know. There's probably a lot of series that anybody can give like as an example and just like see that it didn't do well or that it fell off. Like, I remember, and I guess it didn't really. There's another example of them like having kind of a natural conclusion because I didn't think it canceled. But do you guys remember a series called I Am a Hero?
Yeah, great series.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that was a great series. I was like, we were just barely getting into that era where a lot of entertainment is switching over to like zombies and zombie hordes and basically like end of the world type era situations. That was a good time, especially when like a lot of those kind of formats were gaining popularity back in that time. And I think that I Am a Hero was going on for maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I believe it was a monthly series, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, so it ran from April 27th, 2009, all the way to February 27th, 2017. So it was basically like 8 years. Oh, this is the same guy that did Under Ninja.
Yeah, that's still going too.
Yeah, Under Ninja is still going. We're just going on a tangent, but yeah. That's pretty much what I think of. Like,
yeah, but I don't necessarily think that because like something big flopped, that's why people forget about it. I think the big thing is the lasting impact something has. Like, I think a pretty good example of something that's big that didn't have anything for a long time but was still relevant was Devil May Cry, right? Because people still love those games. The whole point is, you play a good story and then you just play it forever because the combat's so good. Like you can always just try out a new combo and like see like what you can do, like how wacky and crazy you can get with certain weapon stacks and stuff like that. You know, so if something doesn't have that kind of attachment to it, then yeah, it's kind of hard for it to stay in the limelight forever. I mean, like, you know, it didn't flop or anything. Like Death Note, no one really talks about it anymore, right? And it's because, like, yeah, there's really nothing out there. Like the last thing we got was the Netflix show.
The movie was all right.
Or the Netflix movie, pardon.
That's what I'm saying. I like the movie.
Controversial take. I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, everyone hates it, but I think for what it is and where they and how they did it, I thought it was good. Good old Light Turner.
It's like, what is big? You know, what I don't want to get philosophical, but what's big back in the day? You know, like everything that was big, it pretty much ended, and is talked about a lot. Air Gear, we didn't hear enough of it. I mean, we heard enough of it. I mean, which is fine. You know, I just never got into it because I don't know. I just never did. But one thing I did get into was Dead Man Wonderland.
Yes.
And I think the fact that it got a anime is probably big enough. And I think like a couple of OVAs, if not just one.
I think I got one, yeah.
Yeah. That's not talked about enough. Because if it was, I would love a reboot, dude.
That's what it deserves.
It's one of those that deserves a reboot. It deserves the full love instead of cutting out core characters to the story.
God, man.
Yeah, I gave it that good old-fashioned anime chopped lifestyle where they cut out good parts and then they try to cut it down to, 24 episodes, 12 a season. Yeah, it's not talked about enough. You see a lot of Shiro. Only a select few of based people know what that anime is. And those that do know what the anime is, know what the manga is, and know what we missed as a community. It's one of those where the fans are actual fans that actually what the full extent and what it could have been animated. It would have been awesome to see everybody just come together in that last fight, fighting their own battles against the prison complex. It's so good. It's so good.
Cool, man. We got another question here that he sent, and he asks, what are some cool ghost stories that happened to you that you can share?
So there was this one time I was when I was a wee little lad, little Gerry Berry. Family took me to Disneyland. I don't know what ride it is now. If it was a ride, it was just like it was a submarine, right? So it was like a Little Mermaid kind of thing where the submarine just goes underwater and then there's like a pictures going like it's like a
the Yellow Submarine.
Scrolling imagery. That's the Beatles.
I understand what you're saying, right? It's like there's like a picture behind technically what the window is in the submarine, and it scrolls while you just basically stay still and it acts like it's doing a thing. Like
sitting down, it was kind of packed, right? There was a bunch of people in there. We went underwater. It was doing its thing, but this thing that I couldn't get out of my head was now I couldn't get out of my head, but back then I was just like, oh, that's just probably the dude, part of the ride, whatever. There was this guy standing in the middle of all of it, and he had his head like above the submarine. Like there was a hole where the submarine was. Well, like there was a hole at the top of the submarine, and this guy was just standing like to where only his head was like up top, right? So you couldn't see his head, but the rest of his body was visible. And it was a real body, right? Because it had like real clothes on, and like he was real. At least I thought so. So we ended up going back like years later. It became a different attraction. It wasn't Little Mermaid anymore. I think it was like Finding Nemo or something. And there was nothing to like signify that there was standing room right there. It wasn't smaller than what I remembered, but there was no like standing room. There was no hole at the top of the ceiling or whatever. I had asked my parents about it if there was like something like that like back in the day, and like I can't fault them for not remembering because it was like years ago. But they said no, there was never anybody pretty much allowed to stand, not even like the workers. So I don't know if I saw I don't know if I saw a ghost this whole time. If like there was just, you know how like in a crowd, pretty much you don't know anybody in the crowd. You don't know like if they're real or not. That's just me being fucking paranoid. Like some of them might be ghosts, some of them might not be real or alive or whatever. So I don't know if like that was just some statue, but I swear to God he was real, and they took it down because of age or whatever, or there was never really anybody just standing there. Because if there wasn't and there was no hole, that guy was headless. I still don't know to this day whether or not, like, what the hell that was. If that was just some guy standing there, if that was a part of the attraction where that guy pretended to be the captain of the sub or whatever, nothing. Like, he had no uniform on to signify that he was. He was just wearing like a dress shirt and pants and shit, but no head. And I'm like, it kind of creeps me out a little bit. Just like thinking like, man, was that guy fucking real or what? It's for whoever fucking, I guess, believes in ghosts or not. Like, there might be some just random NPC somewhere in public that they're like trapped in time or whatever. I don't know. Now I'm just making shit up. I feel like I'm making shit up, but I get this feeling sometimes when I'm at a concert that a bunch of people that I'm standing around aren't really there. Not because of drugs or anything like that, but because, like, I don't know, they're dead and they're seeing this one thing. You'll never know because, you don't go home with that person, or you don't know every single person there. So there's also a fucking ghost story where if you drive up Glamis down the highway at like some point at night, you start seeing like a bride, and that's about it.
The only ghost story I have is when I was a little kid, and I would try to go into my mom's room at night. As a kid, I sleep by yourself, or sometimes you just got to use the bathroom or whatever. And when you're in your hallway, at the other end of the hallway, you just see like something quickly go right by, and it's usually like just some blurred image, like a blur. I would see that almost every night whenever I had to get up in the middle of the night. I like to think that shit follows you, because I wasn't the only one who would see it as a kid. Like, I would hear about it in passing as other people talk about it, but it was always just a thing, like it's always just going to be a blur at the end of the hall, never going to come down the hall or chase me or whatever. Like, so I guess I took some solace in that, and I wasn't really that scared about it, but that's about as close as I can get to any ghost stories that happened to me. I don't
I got
have
one more.
anything like that.
I think I got visited by a sock gnome one night.
A what?
A sock gnome?
They steal your socks?
Yeah, just one. I was asleep, and then I felt something tugging at my sock, and just one of them, because I woke up with one missing, and I specifically remember the feeling that of it coming off, right? And I woke up for like a second, and I'm like, stop. But it just kept going, and then I passed out again. And then I woke up, and I'm like, to my parents back then, I'm like, yo, who took my sock? And they're like, nobody. What are you talking about? And I never saw that sock again. So, yeah, I don't know what happened, but I never got an answer out of that. And you think I'm joshing. I'm not joshing. That shit actually happened. I'm like, ooh, what, why only one?
It's a warning.
It's a message. I mean, we all have one in common. We all know the one thing. It's not scary. It's not a scary thing, but it's just, it was always there. Gerry knows what I'm talking about.
Gerry, tell me what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm talking about the brown fuzzy thing.
Oh my fucking! I fucking knew it had something to do with him too. I'm like, yeah. There was a point back in the beginning of my weed smoking days, me and Adam would both see like this fucking brown fuzzball at the corner of our eyes, like standing, or I don't even know if it stands. It's like
it would just be there.
It's like existing in like the hall to our right. Like there's a TV, and then like there was a hallway next to the TV going to the bedrooms, and Adam saw it. He swore he saw it. Then I saw it a couple of times, and then our sober friends saw it.
And that's how you know.
And then I swear to God, I saw it like outside of that apartment in some other house.
Out here, dude.
Yeah. Oh, fucking God, man. God damn it. Yeah, something. Dude, I don't even know. Yeah, sometimes it rears its head, and I'm like, oh, there it is. But I swear to God, I saw it more when I was fucking baked. Nowadays, I've calmed down a lot, and only rarely it shows up. And it's like in the weird spots too. Like I'm gonna keep a lookout for it again, because sometimes I'm not paying attention, and I'm like, I think I'm just tired, but then
it's like the Hat Man.
Oh fuck, man. Oh no. Yeah, I stopped taking Benadryl because of that. I stay away from the pink stuff. I owe that guy like $20. He's not getting it.
Yeah, thank you again as always, Mark. And again, guys, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And with that, we can wrap it up for today.
I have a recommendation for this week. I found this account on Instagram actually just a couple of days ago. So the account is called LT underscore Kimura 3.0. It's a whole Instagram just dedicated to pachinko slots.
I'm very familiar. What kind of pachinko slots?
Fucking video game pachinko slots and anime pachinko slots.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for.
Corny pachinko slots.
There you go.
Yeah, brother. A lot of the videos that I've seen are just going based off of like the big-breasted waifus doing all the fan service stuff. A lot of the videos that you'll see on his reels are just him hitting like the
hitting big.
Yeah, like hitting the big reels, like whenever they do like, well, I guess if you don't gamble, you don't know, but usually when you play the slots and you get like 3 matching icons or something like that, sometimes the machine will go nuts and it'll like enter like a little frenzy mode where you just have like these free pulls to try to get more and more money. So it's essentially like that. And we see a lot of different pachinko machines. There was a God Eater pachinko machine that I saw. There was a Tokyo Revengers pachinko machine. There's a Warhammer one, and it looks like a Gundam one. But yeah, it was pretty cool, honestly, what I saw for the most part. And it's like, obviously, like, I think the account is just really like gearing people up to be like, hey, come to the pachinko parlor. These are the machines that we have. Look at all the big numbers. Look at all the pretty lights. Stick a quarter in, see what you get, which I think is pretty good advertising. All in all, it just looked too interesting to pass up for me. So I wanted to push this as my recommendation. Oh, I found the video that really drew me to this was there was a pachinko machine with Baki. And when he hits the basically the big pole, you get to see like a cinematic cutscene with Baki versus his dad. And like depending on who wins is basically what number you were gonna pull. So like you get to see him pull the biggest number, which is like 3K, something like that, and you just see like the super demonic like aura and face that is his dad like throughout the clash with him and Baki, and it's fucking dope. And I was just like, man, if I had to win any sort of money, like that would be the best way to do it. That'd be awesome.
My favorite one is one of the horny ones. For a split second, it blacks out, and you see the person recording. And then one of the comments says, seeing your reflection briefly must be painful.
Yeah, dude. That's definitely giving the Animal Crossing vibes, like just having your Switch close up to your face at like 3 a.m. in the dark, having to wave goodbye as you're saving and closing the game, and you just see your fucking face through the screen with bloodshot and baggy eyes.
Gooning and gambling, please tell me you can drink and smoke. Have we found Shangri-La? This is such like an overload of everything, like flashing lights, boobies.
It's literally everything
high-pitched sounds.
Every iPad kid would want.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, there's pachinko machines everywhere in Japan. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like here in Las Vegas, where even in like a 7-Eleven and stuff, you'd probably see like a pachinko machine.
This is probably what old people feel when they play slots. I don't know anybody young who plays the slots.
No, yeah, pachinko machines would specifically be at like arcades or the pachinko buildings themselves.
Yeah, like the parlors.
So yeah, if you guys are curious about this page, we will have a link in the description as always. If you want to check out more stuff. And with that, we can bring the episode to a close. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll catch you later.
Tune in next time when we talk about Clausen dill pickle spears.